What's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Sarah. Today's video is going to be basically a how-to on how to find the best foundation for you. So the best foundation shade, the best foundation type. There's a couple of things that I think will be really helpful for you to know when you are shopping for a new foundation, because I know that process can be super overwhelming. I've learned a few things over the years that have really helped me, so I can usually get my shade and my formula for what I'm buying on the first try. So I wanna share some of that knowledge with you guys today. So with all of that said, let's jump right in. So there are three different categories of foundations, I guess you could say. So there is liquid foundation, there is like a tinted moisturizer or a BB cream of some kind, and then there is a powder foundation, okay? So the first thing you're gonna wanna figure out is which one of those three categories do you wanna live in? It can change depending on the day. It always changes for me, but I primarily do liquid foundation or a tinted moisturizer. If you don't know what that is, here's one of my favorite tinted moisturizers. This is from NARS. I wear the shade Medium Mykonos. And basically what a tinted moisturizer is gonna be is just that. It's basically a moisturizer that is tinted. Let's not overcomplicate this, okay? So this is something you can apply with your fingers. If you wanna be a little bit more diligent with it, you could use a beauty sponge or a brush, but it's not necessary. And these products really lend themselves well to using your hands and really just applying them on your face like you would a moisturizer. This is gonna even out your skin tone, but it's not gonna be like the most full coverage thing where your skin looks stunning, beautiful perfection. It's just gonna even your skin tone, give you a little bit of coverage, and depending on the tinted moisturizer, this one has SPF 30. So kind of nice, kind of like a one-stop shop. Definitely more of like a daytime product. I wouldn't recommend using an SPF in your nighttime products, only because if you're taking any flash photography, there's gonna be flashback and you're gonna look white or washed out. It's just gonna mess with it. So, and you obviously don't need SPF when the sun is not out. So figure out kind of where you fall to start. The other place I live most of the time is just a standard liquid foundation. So Cover FX makes an amazing one. I love the Natural Finish foundation from Cover FX. I wear the shade N40. And then I love this skin tint from Morphe. It's called a skin tint, but it's basically a foundation. I would say this one though, this product kind of lives in between a tinted moisturizer and a foundation because it is so light and buildable. It's actually what I'm wearing right now. It's so beautiful. If you want more coverage than a tinted moisturizer, you can always find a light foundation that's not like something super heavy, something super full coverage. So there's different kind of levels of foundation as well. Light coverage, medium coverage, full coverage. Sometimes there's light to medium, medium to full. So kind of have to read what they are and test things out to figure out what you like the best. But odds are if you're watching this video, you've probably tried a few things and you probably know what type of person you are. Are you a liquid foundation person? Are you a tinted moisturizer like BB cream person? Are you a powder foundation person? So this is the Too Faced Born This Way powder foundation. I rarely use powder foundations on their own. If anything, I'll use them to like set areas on my face, which I feel like I need to do right now. I wouldn't just use a powder foundation as a foundation, like as the only thing on my skin. And that's only because that's my skin. Like, I just don't feel like my skin's nice enough to just put on a powder. I also, in the summer, prefer liquid products to powder products. I feel like powder products can get really kind of cakey. I just prefer a liquid product. I just think it looks nicer on my skin. So once you've figured out that, it's gonna help you out a lot, because when you see new products, you're gonna be like, ooh, I'm a BB cream person. I might like that product because it's gonna be a similar consistency. They're all gonna be pretty similar. Or like, ooh, I'm a tinted moisturizer person. I only wanna look at tinted moisturizers. The next thing that I feel like is really difficult for people is just finding the correct shade. And this is gonna be very similar for a concealer or a foundation, any type of foundation, BB cream, whatever. Because the way they name the shades gives you clues of what shade you're gonna be. So once you figured out your formula, here's how you figure out your shade. The first thing you're gonna do is roll up your sleeves and you're gonna look at your veins, okay? You're gonna look at what color your veins are. Okay, do you guys see that I have purple and greenish blue veins? You may look at your veins and see only purple, or you may see only blue, or you may see only green. This is very important because this is going to tell you, I'm like slapping my wrists. This is going to tell you what your undertone of your skin is. You either have warm undertones, cool undertones, or neutral undertone. Warm, cool, or neutral. neutral. Once you figure that out, it's going to make finding your foundation and concealer shades so much simpler. So you'll know your formula and then you'll know how to find your shade. So for me, because I have purple and green veins, I have neutral undertones. If you only have purple or blue, you have cool undertones. If you only have green, you have warm undertones, okay? Now, why this is so important is because when you are looking up a new foundation on Sephora, on Ulta, wherever you are, you can click the different foundations and they'll be named a million different things, right? Like this one is N40. This one is Hint of Almond. Like that's not super helpful, but you're gonna start looking for clues. So since I know I'm neutral undertones, I'm only gonna look at the foundations that say medium to tan with neutral undertones. Or it'll say like light with neutral undertones. It'll tell you the undertones of the shade. If it says red undertones, that's warm. Some brands will even take it as far as naming the foundations with the undertone in it, which I love that CoverFX does this, because CoverFX has a G, which is golden undertones, which are warm, N, neutral undertones, so I'm N40 in this foundation. I think they have C, which is cool undertones, I'm pretty sure. So you just wanna look at the description of the shades, and that's gonna help you determine like, okay, does this shade have a warm undertone, cool undertone, or neutral undertone? But that only helps you if you know what your undertones are. So you have to figure out what your undertones are first, and then you can know what to look for when you're looking for foundations. I'm just gonna pull up my phone right here, and I'm gonna look up, let's do NARS Tinted Moisturizer. NARS Tinted Moisturizer. Let's go to the NARS website. Now, I already know that I'm the shade Mykonos. It's a really good shade for me, but I want to read to you what it says about that shade and how I figured that out. So I'm on the website. Can you guys see this? I just typed in, or I just clicked one of the random shades. So the description is a lightweight tinted moisturizer that hydrates and smooths the skin while brightening with vitamin C and protecting with SPF 30. I just randomly clicked one. This is Santiago. It says for medium to deep skin tones with subtle golden undertones. I know I don't have golden undertones. I have neutral undertones. So I need to find one that says neutral undertones. So this one, shade Gotland, says fair to light skin with peach undertones. I don't have peach undertones either. I have neutral undertones. Pink undertones, pink, peach, golden. Those are all warm. Neutral, here we go. Auckland is for medium to medium deep skin with neutral undertones. Medium to medium deep is too dark for me. I am definitely more light to light medium. So I hope that helps. Here we go, Mykonos, medium skin with neutral undertones. I feel like when they say like peach, pink, that can get confusing. Peach, pink, and golden, those all sound warm to me. So that can get confusing, but I know that I'm neutral. So that's where I'm gonna stay. The last thing you need to figure out, and this maybe should have been the first thing, but make sure you figure out your skin type. Do you have oily skin? Do you have combination skin? Do you have dry skin? Those are pretty much the three. Are you worried about your aging skin, fine lines? Figure out what that is, and then that's gonna help you also decide what type of formula you are. So like if we rewind back to the beginning of this video when we talked about formula, powder foundation, liquid foundation, BB cream, tinted moisturizer. If you have more oily skin, you're gonna probably wanna put some kind of powder on your face, whether that be just a powder foundation or you wanna set your liquid foundation with a powder, like a translucent powder. I have dry skin. Usually, I'm like sort of combination now. My skin has changed recently, but I'm generally dry. I do get a bit oily, so a nice combination, which is beautiful. You can also have acne prone skin. There's a lot of different types. But so since I know that I am combination or dry, I know that a liquid foundation is best for me. Like I mentioned, there are so many different types of liquid foundations. Some have different finishes. Make sure you read about the foundation. If the foundation has like a dewy finish that's meant to make the skin look like really dewy, if you have oily skin, that's not gonna work for you. If you have dry skin, you're gonna love that. So you just really need to figure out what your skin tone is, and then you're gonna know, like once you start reading about the products, what will work best for you. So it's really all about figuring out what you're working with, learning about those things, and then being able to look at the products that you're interested in buying, reading about them and seeing like, okay, would this work for me? I wish it was less complicated than that and I could just tell you like, hey here's your foundation, here's your formula and your shade, go to town. I wish I could. I mean, I definitely can help. If you wanna DM me on Instagram, I can definitely help. But once you figure out all those things, you're gonna be in great shape. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. It was mostly just informative and hopefully educational for you, but I hope you're able to find your foundation with this information. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. I am happy to answer them there and shed any more light on the subject that I can, because I want you guys to be able to find your foundation shade. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.